Those who know him and have worked with him have described him as a football person through and through, and why not? There's a man who formed a football club even before he became a teenager. But even he, in his wildest imaginations, couldn't have predicted that he would be the leader of the Football Association so soon. 6 months ago, he won a high-octane election to be elected as president of the Ghana Football Association. Today, we sit and take stock of his achievements so far. We also look at the lessons that he's learned, the challenges, and what he hopes to achieve by the time his mandate is over. It's going to be a no-holds-barred interview with the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Edwin Simeon Okraku. We're back after this break. Stay with us. You're welcome back from the break. You're still here on Ghana Web TV. My name is Daniel Ojo, and you are on Sports Check. Today, my guest is the president of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kurt Okraku. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
You're welcome.
Before this interview, I spoke to a few of your executive council members to just have an idea of the kind of person that you are and how working with you is. They say...
Is that what it is?
Yes. They tell me that you are overspeeding and you come across as though you want to achieve everything in your first year. And that's why they've given you the nickname Ofechon.
Oh.
What do you have to say about that? Are you overspeeding? Are you in a hurry?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that if it is that I'm seen to be overworking, that's a true me, so to say. I love to work. I don't want to go to bed knowing that there are still outstanding problems unresolved. So as much as I can, I put in 26 hours. And this is the promise I made to my colleagues from the football industry, that our industry needs not 4 hours a day attention, but 26 hours attention. So I try to do my best.
When you go to bed at 9, the last couple of months that you've been elected, do you regret the decision knowing the enormity of the work and the responsibility on your shoulders?
Not at all. Not at all. But I'll be the first to admit that from outside the premises of the FA, from outside the seat, I presumed there are challenges. But since October 25 and the days and weeks after that, I have come to appreciate that the difficulties are much more difficult than I thought, okay? So that is where I derive my motivation from. Yes, it is difficult, it is very challenging, but I am in it. So I need to work extremely hard.
Before you became president, I'm sure there were some things that you had in your mind about what it would be like being the president. Are there things that you knew that being in the seat, it looks different, it's different than you thought that it was?
Well, I know that the game or the industry is made up of people with varied backgrounds, varied opinions. I've always appreciated everybody that I came across, but clearly being in the saddle has given me a better perspective of people that either consume the sport or manage the sport. And day in, day out, I tend to have a better understanding of how to relate, how to manage, and perhaps how to bring back the love.
What would you say has been the single lesson that you have learned in the last 7 months or so you've been in charge?
Ghanaians are overly passionate about the game. I knew we were passionate, but we are overly passionate. We love the sport beyond my imagination. And people want the sport to be what we see on our screens. But that journey is a long one. It needs patience, it needs people with the right mindset, people with the right energy levels, people with the same so to say, mentality to be able to put the package together.
How difficult is it to pull people together in the same direction? I mean, you won an election over different people, different opponents, with people having different philosophies in terms of the direction that the association must go. You are a leader of the entire association. So all of you must pull in the same direction. How difficult has it been to tell them that, elections are over, let's all put our shoulder to the wheel?
I always liken it to what I started at Dreams FC and how far I brought Dreams FC. It was always a challenge. Dreams FC is made up of people with varied backgrounds, different opinion, positions and perspectives. But yes, the infant stages of Dreams FC was very, very challenging. But after 10 years, we see a totally different picture. So coming to the FA, yes, I was expecting that the road will be tough, will be challenging, and I've said here that that's been my biggest motivation.
Yeah.
But I believe that 4 years down the line, everybody will look back and be happy about what we have achieved.
How do you take the criticism? I've heard people say, well, nothing has changed in 7 months. Do you take the criticism in good faith? And do you think that you have achieved something in the last 7 months?
Well, I think that, honestly speaking, like you rightly said to me in the beginning, some of my colleagues believe that I'm in the super fast lane, okay, because of the quantum of work we have done or we have put in over the last few months. Indeed, if we want to look at the work in perspective, category by category, you would see clearly that we've done a lot, we've put in a lot of effort, a lot of ideas. Throughout the period that we vied for the portfolio, I always said that we need to lay a good foundation for this sport. We need to be strong in creating structures, in creating philosophies, in laying the right infrastructure. And that is where we are. I mean, we need to get the basics right. And once we get the basics right, football will thrive. I've been speaking about a fully functional secretariat from day one. The fact that we didn't have enough personnel for certain portfolios. I have spoken about buying into all the good corporate governance principles of transparency, accountability. I've spoken about the need for us to have quality national teams, very, very strong leagues, whether it's the Premier League, the Women's Premier League or Division 1 or even leagues at the regional level. But all depends on the fundamentals, okay? If the foundation is strong, our leagues will be strong.
You achieved a lot with the Bring Back the Love campaign. How did that come about, the Bring Back the Love campaign?
Honestly speaking, let me be very honest. It wasn't something that we sat together to think through, to dissect like we usually do. I remember once upon a time through our engagements, I said, oh, blah, 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 blah. We need to bring back the love. Hashtag bring back the love. At that time, we were preparing for the two big games, our first games, i.e. the Black Stars. So when we announced the hashtag, people thought we were solely talking about the Black Stars. Okay. People did not see the picture beyond. But honestly speaking, we're talking about the football industry. Okay, it was very clear that having gone through the expose and the challenges that it came with, some love had been lost. And we thought that it was important for us to get our direct consumers, the general public, our players, and all stakeholders who love football to come back home. So we said, bring back the love. Okay, so we went ahead with the campaign. I think that before we asked that we should all put down our tools because of COVID-19, yeah, the campaign had been well received and we're in the right way.
This interview is in three phases. We're talking about his initial 7 months in office, what he has achieved, the lessons he's learned, and the challenges so far. In the second leg, we'll talk about the Ghana Premier League, we'll talk about the Black Stars, the new direction of the team in terms of the technical team. And then in the final lap, we'll talk about his personal life, his love for God, his love for Shatawale and his all-time best in terms of the Ghana Black Stars. So it's going to be an interesting interview. We'll go for another break. When we return, we'll continue with the interview. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. We're into the second leg of our interview with the President of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kurt Edwin Simeon Okraku. My name is Daniel Odro. We've been talking about his time in charge of the Football Association the last couple of months. But let's talk about some more difficult subjects. The Black Stars, which is the biggest brand that we have. What do you think that we are as a brand? This is a brand that has gone to 3 World Cups, but the last World Cup didn't go as planned. What do you want to achieve with the Black Stars?
Well, before I pick up that question, I'll go back to my engagement with the President of Ghana. In the conversation, he asked the question.
Okay.
He said, Mr. President, when will we start to bring the big trophies to Ghana? Okay. For me, that was the voice representing the voiceless in this country. Everybody in this country, I think since when was the last time we won the trophy?
1982.
1982. I've been yearning for the AFCON trophy. We've not won any major trophy at the club level beyond the triumph of Hearts of Oak in 2004, 2005. Our U17 has not won at the Mondial anymore. Our U20 since 2009 have not won the trophy. The women have not made it. Now we even have beach soccer and futsal. I don't know when we're going to make it, but clearly it tells you that the country is yearning for celebrations, okay, for trophies. And to be able to do that, like I said, we need to go back to the fundamentals. But climbing up, our Black Stars struggled at the last AFCON. Perhaps the worst performance ever in 20 years. Going out of the competition in the round of 16, at the round of 16. It is very clear that we need to build a team that is strong, that believes that representing your country is the best blessing you can ever have. We need to find players who will be 110 or 1,000,000% committed towards the national cause. That is not to say that the players who have been representing us have not been there for Ghana, but it's very clear that we need to raise the adrenaline levels of everybody involved in the Black Stars to ensure that we become conquerors again on the African continent. Everybody who has been appointed to work for any of our national teams know exactly what we want. They know exactly what the nation expects, and obviously everybody is prepared to sacrifice for that common cause.
Did you make a promise to the president of the land that you're going to win an AFCON? Because you said that's what he asked of you.
I said to him that the journey has just begun. We need to get the basics right. And if we get the basics right, I will not have a doubt that we can reach that target of envy.
Okay, and the basics being right, is that why you changed the technical direction of the team?
Well, I think that, first of all, the tenure of the then coach had ended. The council met and took a decision that we believe is in the best interest of the country. We decided not to re-engage and look for a new start altogether. I think that decision was unanimously adopted at the Congress of the Council. And that's how we are.
Have you heard from your, if you like, opponent that you didn't sack Mr. Kwesi Appiah because of footballing issues, that you had a personal vendetta to get him out?
I think that would be most unfortunate. Because first of all, it could sound like a disrespect to all the 12 members on the council of the Football Association and other stakeholders who were engaged before that singular decision was taken. Proud to me being the president, I've had my opinion or opinions about issues, and that was me then, okay, as as the executive chairman of Dreams FC, where I thought certain intangible assets were of the highest quality. At the end, I do not make the selection to the team. If I make suggestions, just like any older person could make suggestions, media persons do make suggestions. Okay, I mean, it's up to the gaffer to decide who to pick. That's it. But we all know that we woefully didn't perform at the AFCON. We all know the happenings from the 2004 World Cup. We all know all the things that has happened before.
Yeah.
So when the council put the motion into vote, and it was 12 out of 12, a big no. I mean,
it was 12 out of 12.
Yeah. So wow. It was not about the president of the FA not wanting somebody. No, not at all.
I want us to talk about CK Akono, but finally on Kwesi Appiah, if you've let him go, why don't you pay him his money? Because he's been in the media the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure it doesn't portray a good image for you that
yes,
you owe him some arrears.
I think it's most unfortunate, right. Honestly speaking. I would not want the FA, and for that matter, the government, to come into the public space in that manner. Indeed, we initiated the processes, and everybody know, including Kwesi Appiah, know the processes that are involved. He knows, and we all know, that the FA engaged him, but the FA doesn't pay his salaries. Okay. The Ministry of Youth and Sports are responsible for payment of salaries of all our national team coaches, and they do it via the sponsorship from GNPC. So it's a bit of like a triangle, so to say. So there are processes that one has to go through. At times it does end quickly, at times it does delay. It's unfortunate that he went public, but it is his singular prerogative. And let me say that it's not only Kwesi Appiah who is old, okay? Stephen Appiah is old. Richard Ole Kingston is old. Avram Grant was old, but it's been cleared.
CK Akono, I mean, yes, he's been around for a while. Coach Kotoko, Coach Heart Vogue, Ashanti Gold, but this is the Black Stars. When you were taking that decision, the Executive Council, did he get 12 over 12 too?
Let me say that, first of all, Coach Kwesi Appiah exited, and we had to decide on who to give the responsibility to. The council considered it, considered a few names. Loads of circumstances were also considered, and then we decided on CK Akono. I think that CK Akono has paid his dues when it comes to football. Played here in the Premier League, Okraku United, Ashanti Gold, went to Germany, played 12 odd years thereabout in the Bundesliga, captained Wolfsburg at that level, captained our own national team, came back here, coached 11-wise, Hearts of Oak, Dreams FC, Ashanti Gold, Ashanti Kotoko. He's had varied levels of experience as a trainer. Okay, and if there's somebody who deserves that opportunity, it's somebody who has dedicated himself towards the national cause. He's risen to be the captain. He's played at the highest level. He's represented Ghana at the highest level. I mean, we have no doubt about. Most importantly, who did he choose as his deputy? Yeah, he chose David Duncan.
But isn't that odd?
So you
David
think
Duncan
about,
is supposed to be senior, though.
Think about the mix. Okay. First of all, that tells you how humble David Duncan is. Okay. It's not about age. It's about work. Today, I lead the Football Association. They are much older colleagues of mine on the Executive Council. Okay. But he decided to go in for somebody who is very experienced, somebody who is very educated, somebody who is very, very respected, not only by his peers, but also players, somebody who we all believe has the capacity to assist. Okay, so they have a good team. Fortunately, they work very well together. It will surprise a lot of people.
They say the both of them have a temper.
I think that for example, David Duncan over time has matured a lot. Okay, and listen, he appreciates the opportunity offered to him by Charles Akono to be working with him, and therefore he knows what is expected of him.
You're still here on Sports Check on Ghana Web TV. Today we're having an exclusive interview with the President of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Okraku. We've been talking about the Black Stars. We started off with his time and his tenure as FA President the last 6 or 7 months. We'll go for another break. When we return, we'll talk a bit about his family life and his love for music and what he does. You know, he's a Jama man. Maybe he'll give us a rendition of a song before we go. We'll also talk about his plans to make the Ghana Premier League autonomous and to also synchronize the National Division 1 League. Stay with us. We're back after the break. Welcome to the final lap of our show, Sports Check here on Ghana Web TV. My name is Daniel Odro. Today I'm here with the President of the FA, Mr. Edwin Simeon Okraku. He likes that name, Edwin Simeon Okraku.
It's fantastic.
In the final lap, we'll talk about his family and what he does for leisure and all of that. But we'll also talk about some serious issues about the Ghana Premier League and also the Division 1 League, which he says he wants to change its current structure. President, so this whole idea of making the Premier League autonomous, is it just fulfilling a campaign promise, or you think this is the way forward?
Well, before Kurt Edwin Simeon Okraku declared his intention to lead the Ghana Football Association, football clubs led by the League Clubs Association at that time had sent a contingent to South Africa to look at their independent league and how it was managed. Now, beyond that, there's been loads of talks about going independent. Indeed, during the time of normalization, all Premier League clubs used to meet, to think about themselves, so to say. And I was one of the people who was very, very key in those engagements. Now, during the campaign, I made public statements that I believe that our Premier League, which is our most important, so to say, which is our topmost league, deserves a 24-hour attention, and therefore it needed to be, the management of the league needed to be autonomous, so to say, or semi-autonomous, or whatever you want to call it. So, yes, during the campaign, I did promise that I will help the process. So once we won elections, it was important for me to go back to the council to convince the council that this is the best way for Ghanaian football. So I tabled it at the council, we discussed it, and then adopted that it's important that we go to the next level of the development of the game, especially at the Premier League level, where the Premier League will be independently managed, and it will be owned by the clubs. So we have started the process. The process will not end today, but it's a process. The 5-member committee will look at the process, the timelines, the format, the structure, shareholding, etc., etc. And then eventually we would go back to the clubs and say that this is the way we want to go.
Generally, I've heard people like the idea. However, when we come to the Division 1 League, which you say you want to make a national league, and I mean, obviously slashing 48 clubs to what, maybe 16 teams or 20 teams at most, a lot of people are uncomfortable with it. It means what? Clubs must merge, clubs must collapse. What's the grand idea?
Okay, first of all, I think that it's a discussion that went on during the NC period, and we took it to Congress and adopted the same. But to think about it, honestly speaking, I don't want to really influence the decisions that will come, or the suggestions that will come from the 5-man team that we put in together to look at that particular venture. But managing 48 clubs in one league has always been difficult. Seeking for sponsorship for a 48-team league is always difficult. It's always been difficult. Seeking TV partnership for a 48-team league is always been difficult. Assuming that you eventually succeed in getting sponsorship of let's say $1 million USD or $2 million USD, that money has to go to the 48 clubs and has to take care of the management of the league. It is very, very challenging. Okay. Now, what is interesting is that at the same time that we're speaking about a 48 National Division 1 league, we're also speaking about an independent Premier League.
Right.
What does it mean? It means that all the resources that the FA used to spread around, that included the Premier League clubs, is going to go to First Division or Division 1, okay, and Women's Premier, and perhaps the other regional leagues, etc., etc. So eventually, if this happens, it means clubs beneath the Premier League of Ghana are going to receive a lot of attention. The Division 1 league will be the baby of the Football Association. It will be, in quote, our Premier League. All our resources will go to Division 1 clubs, and there will be a boom in the industry. When we speak about igniting passion and creating wealth, this is one classical example of wealth now being spread for the good of the clubs in the Division 1 league. Now, what we have done is to start a process. Okay, and this committee is supposed to look at the provision of the statutes and advise the council. It doesn't mean that the decision has been firmed up or is taking immediate effect. Okay, the committee will look at the pros and cons, the format, the structure, etc., etc., and come back to the council and advise us. So I think that we have to be patient. The statute itself says that the 18 team must take effect within 2 years after its adoption at the last Congress. So we have to be patient. Let's look at the bright side of the story, and let's wait on the advice of this 5-man committee, and let's see how it goes.
All right. Have you cut off your opponent that you went into the elections with? They say you are running a close-knit administration, that you don't want them close to you.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Did you offer some of them
positions? It's unfortunate. I really wish I don't speak to this,
okay.
But we are honest people, and I expect everybody that I come across to be same. Okay, I have very good relationship with everybody. My brother Palmer, who did not contest, Nanaya Ponsa, George Afriye, George Adumako, Amanda. I think there's nobody that I don't speak with. We speak. Okay, perhaps we don't speak on daily basis, okay, but we do engage, and there are times that we've crossed over to even help ourselves. We do differ perhaps on opinions at times, but I have said on numerous occasions that we need everybody. Okay, I cannot pretend that I know everything connected to the sport. Everybody has special qualities, and since the Almighty God has blessed each one of us differently, it's important that as a leader you harness the quality and potential of everybody. So listen, at the end of the day, all of us are either affiliated to clubs or are club owners. Okay, so we need to always think about the total good of the industry. I don't think that I have problems at all with anybody, no.
But why are most of them not serving on committees or helping in any way? We haven't seen George Afriye getting a position on Iron Ponsa or Palmer. Why is that?
I think that, well, we've been in office for only 7 months, okay, and we have 4 years to go. Some of them have already played roles, okay, in the administration. I don't think that there's any group that contested these elections that are not directly involved in the management. It's either the candidate is not serving and his campaign manager or his chairman is serving, or it's a blend. Okay, so for example, if you speak about Palmer, almost everybody in his team are involved in my administration.
I've heard that you are in bed with the former NC and that you are covering up for them. There was a page in the financial report that talks about their expenditure and you took it out. Is that correct?
In answering the question, I would want to say that that supposed mysterious page is in public.
Is it?
It's in public, so it doesn't really speak to the alleged facts.
Are you saying what is in public is the authentic page?
Well, it is. It
Okay.
is. It is. It is. Let me say that it's just unfortunate. I think that when they took the document for photocopying and packaging, one of the pages didn't appear. Fortunately for us, the document that we sent to FIFA included all the pages.
Okay.
Okay. That's how come FIFA cleared
Right.
the Football Association. Okay. But there's no mischief in this. And I think that we all have to look at things in a very positive way. There's no attempt to shield anybody.
Okay.
I think that the accounts of the NC were audited by FIFA. As we speak now, we have not received any untoward report from FIFA, or for that matter, anybody.
Okay.
But let me be very clear that I'm not here to shield people. Okay, I'm here to reposition this company to be seen in a very positive way by all our publics. And if it is that we have, if the fact that we have debt doesn't mean that we are broke.
Okay.
It does not also mean that we are rich or overly rich. Okay, but when today is Tuesday, it is Tuesday. Okay, if it is that we owe people, which is normal to owe companies or people, it's normal. But letting your direct stakeholders also know the true picture, it's also normal. Okay, I don't think that we should read. We should push the what word should I use? There's no negativity around it, so to say. Let me be very simple. Okay, it's never targeted at anybody, but the true picture has been presented to our clubs, and for me, it's good when I'm honest. I feel good when I'm honest to the people, and I told all the clubs during the engagement that I want them to respect me for being honest.
Okay. Does it hurt you that when the legacy debt issue came, there was a lot of spin on it that, Mr. Okraku wants to expose the former president?
I was kind of surprised, to be honest, and a bit disappointed that some of my colleagues took it that way. But believe me, and I've said this on numerous occasions, before me were two presidents. There were President Dr. Kofi Amwa, who was the last before my good self, and President Nyantichi. Both came in here and played their part, okay? And I have come to continue from where they left off. President Nyantichi took us to 3 World Cups,
right.
Built this association to the best of his ability, and exited. Dr. Amwa took over. He also did his bit, and I have taken over, yearning to make history, okay? I don't know how far the Almighty God will take me, but I believe that together we can build this association to be what it's supposed to be.
So your relationship with Mr. Nyantichi is intact, no strained? Nothing.
No, not at all. I've never had a bad relationship with President Nyantichi.
Okay.
In fact, from Nana Sambro Butler, when Nana was the chairman of the FA at that time, I was a practicing journalist. I had a good relationship with him. Alhaji Jawula, very good relationship. President Nyantichi, Kofi Amwa. I've never had any bad relationship with the leaders of this football association, and I feel good about this. Okay, and I hope that when I exit, whoever takes over from me will also have a good relationship with me.
Okay. Before we talk about Shatawale and your music and everything, do you worry that there is a pending case at CAS? And I ask because people say, if that case goes in favor of Palmer, there will be another election. Does that worry you?
No. Look, it's a case, like you rightly said, it's a case involving my brother, Osei Palmer, and the Football Association. it is what it is. I mean, I didn't take the case to CAS. If CAS gives a ruling, we'll go by the ruling. Okay. It is what it is. I mean, again, today is Tuesday. You can't change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you live for the moment. You sound like a man who lives for the moment and doing your bit.
When the sea becomes rough, fishes don't give.
What does that mean? President, are you a religious person?
I'm a staunch Anglican.
Okay.
I've been with the Anglican Church since 1978. I've always worshipped in one church, one branch, Achimota, behind the new plant station. That's where my mom took us. And I'm forever grateful to that church.
Do they pray for you? Do they wish you success?
I wouldn't be here. Okay, they pray for me a lot. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. Obviously, and I remember telling my campaign team that if there is a God, we will win these elections. I remember at that time. Okay, and we won the elections. Okay, for me, it proves that there is a God.
You come across like a family man. At the Congress that brought you into power, your wife was there. You had a very passionate kiss. I
remember.
You took her to the presidency. How supportive has she been, and your kids? You have kids? How many kids?
I have 3 kids. She's been very supportive. Obviously, without her support, it would have been very difficult. Okay, the kids have been very supportive. They fully believe in my vision. They know that I desperately want to take Ghana football to the level that I desire, that everybody wants. So they are very supportive. I have a son who soon will be mightier than I am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
For a staunch Anglican church member, how do you marry your love for Shatawale to? How did the Shatawale...
Shatawale is a Christian. Okay, he's a devout Christian. It's important that people see the artist Shatawale and then the human being Shatawale.
Is he your friend?
He's a friend, yes, he's a friend. I like him a lot. His words inspire me a lot. I think we have something in common. From ground zero to be somewhere that we can also impact on the society and kill them with prayers.
Kill them with prayers. President, before we go, we want you to give us your first 11, Ghana's all-time. I mean, a lot of people have been doing a lot of predictions.
No, Daniel, spare me this. I don't want to do it. I don't want confusion.
But this is your opinion. You have an opinion.
I don't want to. But I'll just give you 2 names who, in my opinion, have been that I saw.
Okay.
That have been fantastic. Just 2. One is the general captain of the Black Stars, the Baby Jet. And the other one, and the only one, the Maestro.
The Maestro.
Top.
Hopefully, you are able to send Ghana to another World Cup, help Ghana to win its first AFCON title since 1982. Thank you very much for your time, sir. We know you're a very busy person, but thank you for allowing us into your office and granting us this interview.
You're most welcome.
So that's the president of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kurt Edwin Simeon Okraku. Today, you got up close and personal, got to know him beyond the presidency and everything. And I hope you enjoyed this production. We're back another time with another edition of the show. Until then, keep well and see you somewhere in town. Bye for now.